Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a title for your animation without using Photoshop. Okay, so if you notice right now, I moved my video to have the space in the front because I wanted to add the title. Now you have an option. Wherever your dial mark is, will show you. Right now it's showing black. But if you go over top of it, you can actually see if you have an image, if you want a picture to be inside, we actually add a still or a picture to be right there. And we can now click on it. We can add the title in a couple different ways. You go up here to title, and you go to new title, and you have options to do default still, default roll, or default crawl. Most titles are often on a still. They don't usually crawl. Usually the things that crawl or roll are your credits. So I'm going to do default still. And you have to make sure it matches your actual size of your animation. And I'll talk about this in class. And then you should always name it. So I'm going to call this introduction. And you can name it whatever you want. And you're going to click on OK. What you're seeing right now is you're seeing your preview of what you're actually seeing inside on your screen. Now notice right here is I actually have the dial over top of my video. Let's say you see a transparency right now. If you click up here right here, this is where it shows background video. I have that one off. So right now it just shows you where it's at. Now if you didn't want this, and I actually wanted this dial to be over the black area because I wanted the emptiness, notice what happens here on my screen as well. It's black. So whatever you're going to have on top of that is you're going to see. I do not recommend adding a color. I'll show you how to add a color background for your title, but you don't do it here. This is just the text. The text shows you exactly where it's going to be at. So I'm going to move mine to be right here so you can just see. Actually, I'm going to lie. I'm going to move it off to the black so we can see. Notice these lines again. Remember, we saw these in Photoshop as well. Remember, these are the two different. This is your action line and this is your text safe line. You always want to keep your text safe inside this box so it's legible to be read. Okay. Now from here, we're just going to actually click on a text box, and you're going to click and click once, and we'll actually start to type. So I'm going to call it intro. Now what it does is it gives me my default text as well. I'm going to increase this box so just so you can see. Adjust my curtains, is there's a lot of title presets that are already determined for you. Now these ones are already comes up with all of these things will change based off of whatever they program them into. So you can use these if you want to. I think that sometimes they're a little too decorative for me, so I don't like to use them. So I'm actually going to go to the default. I'm going to now choose on the typeface that I want. Now you have a couple different things up here. Up here will also give you the name of the typeface that you want, but it also is over here as well. So I'm going to use something that's a little bit easier to read. I'm going to use this one here. I'm going to use Bank Gothic. Call it intro, and I'm going to say this one is I'm going to have it light, which is fine. To increase the size of this, so if I wanted to select it, you could select it now right here. This is called a scrubby slider. You actually click on the yellow, and you can increase and decrease the font size. You can also do it over here in the font size as well. So it's whatever you like. All right, now I want 2 lines from. I want it to be intro by. I'm going to type in my name. I think I spelled it wrong, but intro by, and I'm realizing that my size is too large. So I can now actually select this one, decrease the size, and then continue typing. Now for this one, I'm going to select it again. The size is still too big. I want a little bit smaller. Also, I want it to be a little bit further away, so I can also over here, if you understand kerning, tracking, and letting, these things are well, you can learn them in my graphics class. And I want it to be centered right there. So now it's all lined. But I want intro to be black. I want the intro to be white, but I want my name to be a different color. Down here, you will see all the different attributes you can change for your text. If you want a stroke on it, there's inner strokes, outer strokes. Right now I'm on fill. So notice I don't have, not your background. The background, don't do a background because it causes a lot of problems later. I'm going to actually change my fill color to be not white, but I want it to be like a yellowy color. I want this one right about here. I'm going to say OK. So now what I have is I now have my intro by Natalie Robbins, and I want it to be centered, and it is. It's a little off, but it's all right, no problem. All these individual little boxes, if you actually create too many, will actually be, sorry, I forgot to turn that off, can be moved and adjusted. If you want it to fill the entire space, you can actually move this off to the side. And I can get my text box, actually, hold on. I'm going to Control A, and I'm going to cut it out. And I'm going to get my black arrow tool. I'm going to delete that. Boom. And I can actually click and I can drag a text box to fill in the entire area. That way when I Control V, it'll still fit in that same spot. So whatever you need to do is fine. Now I don't necessarily want that because I want to be able to move my text to where I want it to be. Oops. There we go. I want this to be down here. my introduction. Now I don't like this because my alignment's weird, so I'm actually go to the left side, boom, and I'm going to move it back. Okay. Now from here what you can do is you can hit enter on your keyboard, and then it should actually adds it right here into your title box. Okay. Now what I love is you can actually close this down. Sometimes when you hit enter it will render, so you can actually hit close, and here it is. So if you ever need to work on it again, you can actually double click on it right there. It'll reopen up and you can adjust whatever you need to. Feel free to play around with some things. If you mess some things up too much, I can show you how to fix that as well. And close that down. And I can just click in here and I can add this right here to my text. Now the thing is, it looks like it's actually black, but it's not, because if I was to move this over top of, here, you will notice that now I have my text, my title over top of my image, but I don't want that. I actually want this to be here, and I want to have a blue color behind this. I want this nice kind of blue color, not black. So the best way to make a solid background color is over here in your little project area. I'm going to click on this little item. This is new item. Click on new item, and I want a color matte. A color match will give me the exact color that you want just to be it. It's a big, large object or square to fill it with color. Give you the preset as is, hit OK, and then get to choose your color. I want a really dark blue, something along those lines, hit OK, and now I'm going to call it my intro background. Okay, and now I click this, add this over there, and now what you'll notice is now it's no longer black, it's actually blue. And there you have that. If I want to change the color, you can always click on it, say OK. That is actually horrendous, so don't use it. Hit Control-Z to take it off. And there you go. And that's how you have it. In the next video, I'll show you how to do a little bit more of fading in and fading out of your title.